Hi there, this video will provide a quick overview of PubMed and MESH, including how to identify MESH terms, how to search PubMed, and how to find full-text articles. Let's start with just a brief overview of PubMed and MESH. So PubMed is a free database. It contains over 30 million citations and abstracts of peer-reviewed biomedical literature, including biomedicine and health, along with life sciences, behavioral sciences, and bioengineering. The database does not contain actual full-text articles. However, when they are available, it does include links to access the full text through either publisher websites or through PubMed Central. And PubMed Central is the full-text archive of literature that is reviewed and selected by the National Library of Medicine. All of that content is included within PubMed, along with Medline, which is another National Library of Medicine database, but it includes mostly just citations. So if you're researching any topic that is health or medicine related, PubMed will be one of your best resources. Now, MESH is the acronym for Medical Subject Headings. It is the National Library of Medicine's Controlled Vocabulary Index. PubMed and Medline both use MESH for their Controlled Vocabulary Index. And most databases do use a Controlled Vocabulary Index of standardized subject headings, but every database might call it something different. For instance, it might be called subject headings, index, descriptors, and many more. Catalogers and database indexers use these subject headings to organize and essentially tag content within a database, which makes searching easier and you're able to identify more sources on similar topics. MESH is updated annually to include new terminology and retire older terms. Now let's go into PubMed, and I'm going to show you how to identify MESH, how to narrow your searches, and how to find full-text articles. You can go directly to the PubMed website, which is pubmed.ncbi.nlm.nih.gov. It's a big website, big URL, so you're probably best off just Googling PubMed, and that'll take you right there. So before we search, I want to point a couple things out on the landing page. One thing you'll see under Learn, there's a lot of tools to help you if you have questions about using PubMed, especially under this FAQs in the user guide. I highly recommend taking a look at that, especially if you want to become a savvy PubMed searcher. The other thing I want to point out is the MESH database, which you will find under Explore. And you'll see here when I click on MESH database, that gets me right into the MESH database. So knowing the proper terms for a topic you're researching can help you identify additional search terms and map out a great search strategy. So for example, if I was researching a topic having to do with cancer, if I search the MESH database of terms, I'll see that neoplasms is actually the appropriate MESH heading to use. Or let's say I was searching on high blood pressure, I would find that hypertension is actually the best MESH heading to use. So it's another way to identify search terms and know what the best terms are to use when you're researching. So let's jump back into the PubMed landing site here, and we're going to do a search. Now say I'm researching the use of hormone therapy in breast cancer. So I'd pull out my key concepts, which are hormone therapy and breast cancer. Type those into the search box. And you may notice I'm not using any search strategies like Boolean, the use of and or, nesting, or even phrase searching. That's because PubMed has a very robust search mechanism that uses what's called automatic term mapping. So automatic term mapping goes in and it automatically matches your search terms to MESH terms and additional keywords and creates a precise search strategy for you. And let me show you how this works. So when I hit search, I've got 36,000 results. That's a lot. Now, if I wanted to check and see how PubMed interpreted my search, I can go into Advanced, scroll down a little bit, and if I go into here, you'll see that populates what the search was and how it was run. And you'll see I've got my nesting, I've got phrase searching, it's pulled in those MESH terms. So if you're a research geek like me, you'll find this pretty cool. But let's go back to our search results. And 36,000 is a lot. So I'm going to want to narrow this down so I can use the tools within the database. Because probably the most recent information is going to be best, I can either use this little slider bar to narrow it, or I can scroll down and I can click this 10 years. And that's going to limit my results to just those articles from the last 10 years. So you can see I've already eliminated about 20,000 articles. I can narrow it further. Let's say that I only want to look at meta-analyses and systematic reviews for now. So now I'm limited down to 430 articles in the past 10 years that are only meta-analyses and only systematic reviews. This is a much more workable set of articles. Now the next thing is going to be, which articles can I access full text? And over here you'll see abstract. Those are only going to be those articles that include an abstract, not the full text. Free full text is going to give me access to all of those articles that I can get freely without charge from a publisher website or through PubMed Central. And full text is going to give me access to everything that provides the full text, but some of the publishers may want to ask me for money if I want to get those. So many times you'll find that you can actually find the full text article through some of the MCC library databases. So don't immediately eliminate the option, especially if you find some great articles, and certainly don't hesitate to ask a librarian for help in finding the full text. So one thing I love about PubMed, so when you go into the articles and when you find the best article, when you scroll down, you'll see they list similar articles, which is a great way to kind of do a breadcrumbs approach to research. So look for those similar articles underneath the abstract. I'm going to point out a few more tools in here. You'll see that there is a citation tool right here. So you can use the AMA, MLA, or APA format. However, computer-generated citations often contain errors, so be sure to consult the citation manual to verify proper formatting. Another thing about this database, you can create your own MyNCB account if you want to save your searches or save articles. Just hit the login button and you can create your own account. But of course, you don't have to do that if you want to email or save something. All you have to do is go through and check those boxes to the articles that you want to use, and you can either save or email it to yourself. You'll also see every article in PubMed has a PMID. And this is the specific number that will get you back to that article. It's just another way to collect your research. So this is a basic overview of PubMed. If you plan to have a career in medicine or health science, PubMed will be an essential tool to support your evidence-based practice. Now, if you have questions or need further help, be sure to visit the MCC Library webpage and look for the Get Help button on the left-hand side. Right over here. Thanks for listening and good luck in your courses.